Hello, good evening. It's a Dong, it's a Benoliel, it's a Chain, it's a Dad, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Chen from HK and I'm the student helper of today's course. And today's event is organized by Internet Society Hong Kong. On behalf of the guests, I would like to extend my warm welcome to all of you for coming to today's event. And hereby, special thanks should be given to our supporting partner, the Good Lab, and our wonderful guest, Mr. Benoliel. To kickstart today's event, I would like to invite Ms. Wong, the General Secretary of the Internet Society Hong Kong. Thank you.
First, welcome all of you to join our event. So I want to know who did attend our previous event. Raise your hand. Ooh, okay, that's a lot. And for others, I want to know why you come. Is it because of you want to know just because of the protest? One hand. Okay. So before the protest, anyone know about FireChat? Raise your hand. Okay, yeah, good, done. Good. So because Micha told me that before the protest, it seems there's a lot of users of FireChat in Hong Kong. But after Sunday, last Sunday, it's boom. Okay, that's why we're happy that Micha is in Hong Kong, so that's why we invite him to share with us only about his startup story and also the technology behind FireChat. There's no political thing today, okay? No such kind of questions, okay? So if you want to ask him, just let's ask him after the event. So I want to introduce a little bit about Internet Society. If you don't know us, Internet Society is a global not-for-profit organization, and it's based, the headquarters is in US, and it was founded by research part of Internet 20 years ago. So the vision of Internet Society is the Internet is for everyone. That means that whatever that can help the Internet develop, promote, and also encourage everyone to get online. So we will do it. So you can imagine that the areas like related to Internet government policy, related to Internet standard promotion, some technical things like cyber attack. If you did join us last time about the DDoS attack talk by Matthew from Cloudflare, and also about cloud computing. Especially these 3 years, we're working hard on engage with IT startups and developers in Hong Kong. So we did organize a World Internet Developer Summit. So we have quite a number of good speakers from Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Dropbox. Those all big companies to join us, the Developer Summit. And also we have a lot of startup events. And also, we are the leading organizer of the Best ICT Startup Award last year. So we have been doing a lot related to Internet. So I would like to invite you if you have any ideas that can give us, or you have any speakers that you want to invite him or her to come to Hong Kong, just catch us, and then we try to do it. Because we are always want to know about the latest technology and catch the trend of the latest technology. So I don't speak a lot. Maybe let's pass back the mic to Joyce.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. And please stay as we proceed to the group conversation section. Now may I invite Ms. Wong, Mr. Benoliel, Mr. Ben, and Mr. Yas to come to the stage to have a group picture together.
So this topic is from the Good Lab. So thank you for the nice place and the support for this event. So thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's probably say a few words about the food lab because I'm it's better for Tony to introduce what is the food lab a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ping. So I won't take too much of your time. Just want to say a few intro words. Like, food lab is a coaching space, and like one of our core mission is to introduce people to different ways of thinking about social problems and different ways of solving social problems. And one of the key messages that we want to deliver to the people in Hong Kong is that in today's age, it is the cross-sector collaboration that is the key to solving tough social problems. So that's why we believe very much in technology plus social concern, so that we could have more civic startups coming up in Hong Kong. And thank you again for coming to this lab.
And now we would like to invite our honorable guest, the CEO and co-founder of Open Garden and creator of FireChat.
Hi everyone, and thank you for being so generous today, and thank you to the Internet Society and all the members of the Internet Society. I'm super happy to be here with you tonight. It has been a hectic week for me and for all of you, probably, and it's great to be with you and tell you a bit about my story, about technology and about Open Garden and FireChat. I don't know what you would like to hear most. I don't know, the one who wants to hear about technology, please raise your hand. Okay, about my story as an entrepreneur, and and about FireChat and Open Garden in general. Okay. So I'm going to put my slide and stuff. So I started this company more than 2 years ago, and I've always been an entrepreneur in the field of telecommunications and internet, and I started to build services that were merging basically a communication system and the web back in 2003. And among the things that I did noticeable, I was lucky to meet the Skype founders in 2004. And no carrier, no mobile operator wanted to open them the calls to mobile phones and to landlines. And I had my very small infrastructure, and I was the first one then to open Skype out and Skype in, sorry. It was a lot of fun. And from then I also launched another series of services in the same field. And in 2010 I wanted to build my next company from San Francisco in the US, because I have always loved that part of the world, and I was looking for a team of engineers who would help me make the vision happen that I had since I was a kid, which was to, because when I was coding on my computer and I was 8 and doing some games, I was recording at the time my programs on cassette, and I had to move this program from one computer to the other. Was taking a lot of time. And I always thought, wouldn't it be great if you could just move that information using wireless radio from one computer to another? Obviously, after arrived the internet, Wi-Fi, etc. But in 2010, when I was in the US, I said, wow, but now we all have these computers in our pockets, smartphones, and they have radios that can interconnect them directly. We don't necessarily go to a cell tower or go back to the internet into the cloud. And when I shared that idea with my co-founders who are here, so Stanislav and Ray, Stanislav said, oh, but when I was looking at Internet 2 in 2000, I had the idea of turning a device into routers, but my peers were telling me it was sci-fi, it was not possible, and they have to look now, it takes the time to do it. So we partnered and we built a company called Open Garden. And what we have done is, it's pretty amazing. That was some press we got before what happened this week. It was crazy in terms of coverage. Where basically time is might be the biggest thing since the creation of the first hub of the internet, and we do believe it's going to change everything in the way information actually flows and in the global architecture of the internet, and I will explain later why. So what do you think are changing? So now your smartphones, they have radios, and they can not only connect to the cell tower or to a Wi-Fi hotspot, but they can interconnect directly to one another. They can use Bluetooth, Bluetooth LE, Wi-Fi, direct on Android, or on iOS, Apple is called AirDrop. And in the future, we're going to have new technologies arriving, like LTE Direct, that use the same technology as the one you use to connect to a cell tower, which also enables distances that would be much more important than the one we can achieve today with Wi-Fi Direct or with Bluetooth. Because we can, basically in theory, and we had some bloggers make some tests in Japan, they were able to send messages through FireChat, like 250 feet from one person to another. And in the future, we hope this distance will go up to 1,500 feet for messages, but also for content. So when we started this company, we had to build a technology that's powering FireChat today. And we started with a simple application that was enabling you to share your mobile internet completely for free from your smartphone with your laptop and your tablet, but also with other people around you. And the disruption there was to actually make it happen even if you have the phone in your pocket without having to do anything. So we developed a technology that was enabling the automatic discovery of other devices around you, and who are making the device interconnect completely seamlessly with no user intervention. Even on Bluetooth, there is no pairing, you don't need to do anything. You just need to be next to another device or next to someone that has the software installed. And what's amazing is you can do a lot of, we use a lot of techniques to power it and really make it faster, more reliable. So for example, this is a picture that was taken on the first software we launched called Open Garden Mesh. And you can see, it was during an event in San Francisco, and you can see this device on the top left there, the Samsung device. It has lots of software. And without Open Garden, you wouldn't be able to access the internet. But now it can connect to the device and then hop, it can reach the internet access. The device here, also on the right, has several links to the internet. It means it can not only get access to the internet through its own Wi-Fi, most probably in that case, but also through other devices. So we can bundle access to the internet. We can give you faster bandwidth, more reliable internet. And if one link goes down automatically, your device is going to switch to another path to connect you to the internet. So if you watch a video, for example, with this technology, we're able to connect you on Wi-Fi and 4G at the same time, and you can watch a video stream that arrives on both channels simultaneously without modifying the infrastructure, just with a simple software. And that's really what the complete disruption is. This technology is 100% software. There is no need for hardware. What it means that in places where you have poor infrastructure, in Hong Kong, we are super lucky because the connectivity is fantastic. I think city number 1 or 2 in the world in terms of penetration and the quality of the internet. But it's not the case everywhere. So with this kind of technology in countries like India, for example, you can enable in places where you have no connectivity at all. But if people have smartphones in their pocket, which is becoming the case more and more, because now you can buy a smartphone for $30, or you have the Android one which was released in India for $100. You can imagine that the more people have more software and smartphones, it creates a local network automatically. So So that means people are building their own internet with this technology, and they can start to exchange content, messages, and more. I hope I'm not too technical. So that's just to explain the open internet technology. It helps the network grow from the edge of the network. And if a few devices have access to the internet, all the other devices can benefit from it. So we believe it's a whole new tech on the internet, and it's complementing the existing cellular infrastructure of the mobile operators. And it enables the data to go in places you wouldn't go otherwise, because the level of granularity is much more important. Again, like I said, it's benefiting for everywhere in the world, in emerging countries as well as in developed economies. And I like to call that the smartphone age, or the smartphone infrastructure. Just to give you an idea, you can store in a smartphone today probably 5 times the content of the whole Wikipedia website. And so we do believe that in the future more and more content will be accessed from the edge of the network and then from the cloud. That means that decentralization of the whole internet, like the original architecture of the internet, and come back with food. It means decentralization of communication, and we have proven that with FireChat. Decentralization more of content and maybe search, because if more content stays at the edge of the network, it means that maybe in the cloud you just have an index to figure out the best place to find the content you are looking for. So one thing we do with this technology, we partner with other app developers who wish to develop on this network. And if you have a phone, like here on the picture, which has no access, but it has an app that contains for networking components, now you can connect automatically to another phone and you'll be able to access the internet. The great thing with this technology is we like to say inevitable, because we all have this smartphone in our pocket that has multiple radios, it's unbreakable, unstoppable. There are great possibilities in terms of saving of energy on your smartphone. Let's say I'm very low on battery on my smartphone, and we all have the software here, and then someone is full of battery. Instead of using my 4G radio to connect to the cell tower, which is very expensive in terms of energy consumption, I will just use my Bluetooth link, which is 10 to 20 times less expensive, and that way I will increase my battery. So if everyone has this technology, it means we can improve battery consumption for the whole system for everyone involved. In terms of security, it's an overlay network. That means there is no local discovery of the devices that are on the network, and basically you cannot access the content of the people's phones, because that has been a concern, and people were thinking, oh, but if you are all in the same network and have data passing through my phone, that means someone can access my data. The answer is no, and it's probably more secure than you connecting to a Wi-Fi. You don't know who's behind. So the technology enables to increase the coverage of the cell tower, give you access to Wi-Fi you may not have access to because someone has access to it, and also can enable very interesting scenarios and use cases in terms of gaming, where you can do multiplayer gaming with no local network. Now let's go to FireChat, which has been, just for you to know, when we launched that app, it was a demo. We wanted to show the potential of the technology, and we thought, oh, let's do a messaging app so people can understand better what it means, what peer-to-peer mesh networking really means. And the first application we thought would be a festival, like Burning Man in the US in the middle of the desert, or in the plane, or in the subway in many cities, not Hong Kong, because we have a fantastic internet in the subway. But conferences, large events were often also the network is congested, or like the recent events in Hong Kong on Sunday when basically the cellular network were completely congested, it was impossible to connect to the internet. There are a lot of good in these technologies. Just to give you an example, during the Burning Man Festival this summer, there was a huge storm and many people were stuck in the mud at the entrance of the festival, and the information arrived on the FireChat network 43 minutes before it was released on the internet on Twitter. So the good thing, the great thing we can do with FireChat, so here there is the technology that enables you to be connected when normally you wouldn't be connected, but there is also an important social aspect. And I think that's one of the reasons this application also took off like crazy on Sunday during the protest. Just for the story, when I arrived, and I think Ping told you a word about that, but when I arrived on Saturday, I was in transit in Hong Kong, and I was complaining because we had very few users in Hong Kong. And Sunday, I look at my FireChat and I start to see tons of messages arriving from everywhere, tons of chat rooms, new chat rooms created. And what's happening? And I quickly realized, oh, look at that. So it's one of the important aspects of FireChat that you can, when you are connected to the internet and you create chat rooms, you can basically reach a huge audience in a record time. And why people do this? It's because each time someone was basically pushing an update, everyone would get an alert. And you can have up to 10,000 people in the same group. And just to give you an order of idea, we had like, I think, close to 100,000 new chat rooms that were created, 5 chat rooms that were created during the last week in Hong Kong only. And that's possible because it's completely open and you don't have actually to invite friends or people you know to wish the room. You just need to advertise about the room and then everyone can join. So the things that we are working on FireChat, and I'd like to tell that to you today because it's arriving in 14 weeks, and we introduced a new feature called the verified account, because we want trusted sources of information like opinion leaders or reporters or teachers or celebrities to basically be recognized on the network, because there are possibly the people who are going to push the most of the information. And the big difference when you compare to other social networks is you have this complete interactivity. So today the photo only works on the local node, on the KPMS network, but they will be enabled again on the network. So that's the kind of basically user experience. You get the experience of a social network, but with the speed and the interactivity of a normal chat application. So that's why we created FireChat. So for festival, conferences, and obviously we all know what happened. But when we are, I mean, it's amazing. We believe it's, I mean, it's really in the history of the internet, it's a big turn, because I think it proves that the vision we had when we launched this company, that basically people are becoming the internet, and every one of us tomorrow with smartphones in our pockets will be internet nodes. And that's the beginning of the new internet, completely decentralized, peer-to-peer, and thank you for listening to me today, and I'm happy to reply all your questions. Yeah. One. Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the presentation. You pointed out that it's disruptive, obviously, sorry, disruptive technology. So it'd be interesting to hear what is your what do you see as a big challenge in kind of top-level operating model? What do you see as a challenge for it to take off? And how does the established players, like the mobile operator, the internet players, etc., who are constantly with kind of traffic going over it, how do they perceive it, and what is the conversation you're having around that? Have your take on that?
It's a very good question. First, I'm going to give you a very high level, and then I will go down the details of what's happening here. So I think when you have disruptive technologies arriving on the market, the existing players are always, the first reaction is always the biggest gap. It was the case when I was working with Skype back in 2004. Carriers was completely scared about the arrival of Skype, but now all the carriers are using voice over IP to route their calls. So they take time, and they're probably very slow. I think among the industry they have interest at being slow also. So it makes them movement slower. And yes, we do have some carriers who got scared when we launched the mobile app that was enabling you to share mobile internet in the US. AT&T completely managed to tell Google to remove us from the store for AT&T users, which was not a problem because people could still go on our website and install the app, but obviously it gets less visibility. So yes, the answer is yes, they get scared, but I think there's a lot of positive things, because when you look at the cost of mobile bandwidth, it's really going down. I mean, it's like going to the ground, and so you can ask yourself, we have 1 billion people connected to the mobile internet today. In the next 3 years, you're going to have 6 billion people connected to the mobile internet. So that means 5 billion more smart devices, smartphones that will connect to the internet. And this is happening in countries that sometimes don't have, people can't even pay to afford $4 a month to access mobile data. So I don't think the mobile operators will actually deploy infrastructure to provide the access to the internet in these geographies, and technologies like the peer-to-peer mesh can enable at least to lower the cost of the infrastructure that's being developed and deployed, and enable people who wouldn't be able to connect at all to the internet or wouldn't be able to communicate, then to communicate. Yes?
And then, 1 second.
Micha, okay. Bonsoir. Okay. I just want to say, because I'm on hardware technology planning, is it in your design, is it like forward, something like, because I'm also doing information engineering research. So, product code, like network code instruction to go. So, but I want to see why I ask this question. If you forward, then can I control your rolling path? Okay, because if I have 10,000 mobile phones, okay, say I'm in a war field in Iraq, okay, and or in Afghanistan, all the soldiers will carry a mobile phone and carry the software. Can I control the rolling path, okay, of message so that I can have a cluster of people talking at one hand and then cascade the message to another cluster? So I just want to say, know about your actual architecture, how the message is passing on from one node to the other.
So today it's a pure broadcast because all the messages are public. There are public chat rooms, and even if you're in the local network, people who share the same rooms or people who are on the nearby node can actually message everyone. The stolen forward is very important in the forthcoming text. When we introduce private messaging with cryptographic encryption actually, because these are meant to be private messages. So in that case, yes, there will be a feature of stolen forward because you want to make sure the messages you broadcast actually can reach one specific person. In that case, what's interesting, you could have a group of people and you could have basically being able to message for free all the time, because your messages could either bounce from one phone to another, or if the person is not in proximity or in the mesh, then the first person that is connected to a free internet access like Wi-Fi can release the messages to the internet, and then they can reach the right person.
I have two questions.
Hi.
The first one is, do you keep users' messages on cloud servers, or you literally it's a PLC? That's my first question. Second question is, how do you get Android-based phones to connect with iPhone-based phones?
So the messages that happen on the peer-to-peer mesh, we don't even know what's happening. We don't even see these messages. The messages that are in the big chat rooms is like a social network. So basically they pass through a server that we broadcast the messages to everyone. In general, they don't say after a certain period of time they disappear. That's why if you go back in the history, you will never be able to get back to all the messages. So they stay for some time just to broadcast the information to enough people in the group, and after they disappear. The interconnectivity on the peer-to-peer mesh between Android and iOS is very difficult. We made it work. It does work on some smartphones, but because the fragmentation on Android is so important, we need each time to fine-tune the software to enable that interconnection between the mobile phone and the iOS and the Apple device. But it does work today. It's not as reliable as if you are only on Android with the same phone or only on iOS, but it does work.
Okay, my question is same one more time the two, mainly refers to the business side, okay? The business model. So I'd like to know how you form your company in 3 years. So in the future, the business model is like the Skype that eventually you sell the business to big giant, big player, instead of having some current revenue. And then the other aspect is you are looking for startup or looking for innovators to join to develop your technology. So how do you expect the startup or the business model to work with you or to cooperate with you?
Good question. Thank you for asking. So that we have several business models. The first FireChat, we want to keep it completely free. We could actually monetize the audience today. I think if we were deciding to put ads on FireChat, we would probably make a lot of money, but we don't want to monetize FireChat. It's going to remain free. And the way we monetize is with the network we build. So I give you 2 examples. The first one to answer to your first question, I'll try in the most practical way. So we announced a partnership 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas during CTIA, which is a big conference about telecommunication. And we announced this partnership with a manufacturer of small devices, Internet of Things. They do a device that's called the tracker, and that device helps you to find lost items. That means you can buy one of these devices or several of these devices, you put them on your bike, you put them on your laptop, or you put them in your wallet or in your bag, and when your item is far from you, then the device feels that it's lost, and it starts to broadcast the signal, I'm lost, I'm lost, I'm lost. The problem when you're a manufacturer of Internet of Things devices, the network you can create to collect data is very often just a fraction of the number of hardware devices that you market. So it's going to be, if you market 1 million devices, you're probably going to have only 300,000 people who have your software will be able eventually to create that information. But with our solution, which is completely 100% software, basically the scale we reach in terms of penetration is much more important. In terms of millions, and when we talk to partner with mobile operators, because we are talking to mobile operators to actually have them put our software onto each of their phones, then it can reach tens or hundreds of millions basically of people. So the chances that you will be able to find your 1, 2, 3. So the chances that you are going to find your lost item are going to increase tremendously. So the way it works is manufacturers that pay a small fee per device. They pay a small fee per device, and then we share that revenue with the mobile operators in case it's the mobile operator who was marketing basically on network. And that's one way to make money. In the case of app developers, we already have almost 2,000 developers who manifested interest and want to develop on the peer-to-peer mesh network. And the revenue model is pretty simple. When we partner with someone who already has tens of millions of users or hundreds of millions of users, what we do with our software is we have a way to create additional user time. And I try to be very specific and precise, because sometimes it can sound a bit abstract. So imagine you are on your smartphone, and now you are connected to a cell tower. Well, or you are connected to Wi-Fi, but imagine you are in a place where you cannot connect to a cell tower, and you are not connected to Wi-Fi either. I mean, you're stuck. If you play the game or you're on an app, nothing is going to happen. You use your app locally, but you won't see ads, or you won't be able to take any app purchase. But with Honk network, now you have a third possibility of eventually connecting to someone nearby who has access, for example, to Wi-Fi you don't have access. When that happens, then you will keep on seeing ads displaying on your app, or you will be able to make a purchase. And when this monetization event happens, we make money. So it's a win-win. We give the software access to the technology for free, but when our partners make money because of the extra connectivity, extra user time, then we make money. So it's a very long tail, but we believe we have a good advance in the market, stronger technology. People start to know us a little bit all over the place now, so we believe we have enough advance to take a big piece of that market. And if we own 80% of the opportunities of extra connectivity and we monetize that window of time, it's a lot of money. It's a $1 billion company at that point. It was clear?
A very short question. So your core technology is this networking technology mesh network. Is it closed source or you do open source?
So the code is closed source for now. I say for now because we have always had the intent to open it at some point, but we want to open it when it makes sense. Because even when you open source the code, what happens very often, you're going to have a few people who are going to start developing on it. And the real effort and the real progress in the coding are made by your team. So for now, we basically have no reason to open source that code. When we start to have a good advance on the market, then at some point it might make some sense because it means we'll be creating more innovation or pushing people to do things we wouldn't have the time to do. But for now, first we need to perfect it. I mean, even if we have been working on it for 2 years, it's still a very new technology. So it's a lot of fine-tuning. So it requires a complete also, you need to know everything that's happening on your code and the way it behaves, because it's a lot of, there's a lot of parameters that enter into consideration.
Actually, feels like progression to this model right now.
Not really, because when we partner with a lab developer, basically it's like we give you a library and we're going to have a set of commands, and with these commands you can do everything. The part that we don't give you access to is basically how the routing is made, how do we interconnect the devices, with one another. But you don't need to know these things. All you want to know is which are the devices around me. Do people around me have my app? Can I open a communication channel with these apps? Can I broadcast the content directly to all the devices or just to one of them? And once you can do that, I mean, you can build anything. You can do interactive games. You can do communication applications. You can build a browser that's going to work even with no internet connection by hopping onto other people around you. So you can build anything, of course.
Yes, but again, it looks like you try to build a layer of mesh network, like the standard one, right? And if I understand right, your one stream from build this library for some people who want to make additional connections around the device, right? I have maybe another stream of money from advertising. So it seems like it's controversial. You can't open it because you give up the money stream. Is this correct or not?
There is something true in what you say. That's why before we open it, we want to make sure we have enough advance visibility on the market. Yeah, that's true.
Hi, I'd like to ask you, because I noticed you have two of your founders involved in Bitcoin, some sort. Can you compare and contrast the problems you had to solve for this project as compared to, say, the current project?
Very good question. So the reason why I want to look for that actually, and that is because I knew what it did in peer-to-peer mesh networking, peer-to-peer networking, sorry, and in distributed architecture in general. And when I envisioned the open garden network, I clearly saw that there were similarities in the way you have to manage the stream of information and data. So that's why I went to them to build this project and make it happen. And they are fantastic co-founders, great technical team. Just to give you an idea of what Stanislav has done with the LEPAD protocol, and give you the short story. Originally, it worked on the congestion control for the Hadron Collider in Switzerland for the big accelerator, and the Internet protocol could not capture all the data coming out of the Hadron Collider. So we worked on figuring out how we could actually build something that could enable to capture the data, and then after we realized, oh, but maybe I can apply that to the Internet. So he was, his company got acquired by BitTorrent, and he brought basically that technology to BitTorrent. That's why if you use BitTorrent or uTorrent, I don't know if you noticed, but you can be browsing the web, do everything normally. You don't even notice that you are streaming information to the cloud or listening information. And the reason is the way the IP protocol is built, in general, it only exploits 80% of the total physical capacity of your link. And with this protocol, it enables you to basically exploit 100% of it.
Hey, congratulations, you made something which could change the world, okay? And I want to know, what would be your ultimate goal on Open Garden? Say, you want to do a $1 billion app for like, pretty much like a WhatsApp for Africa or India, or you want to do be a CCIP for mass network, or you want to be the biggest like open CDN or open internet of the world? Yeah, which one? It's
a good question. I think that the vision from the very beginning was to build a network, but we quickly realized that to build this kind of a network, you need a huge adoption. So when you face this kind of problems, you figure out, okay, what's my main driver for adoption, or which could be my main driver for adoption. Happens that building our own apps has been a way to actually get the fastest possible adoption, because we don't have to rely on any partnership with mobile operators. We don't have to rely on partnership with handset manufacturers. We can just ship our software and make them available on the internet, and people install them. So, and today most of our efforts are behind the apps, and more particularly FireChat, which has become really our engine for adoption. But we still have obviously to monetize. The best way to monetize would be the network we build, and that's why we want to open at some point access to the network for third-party developers. And also, that's why we started this partnership with Internet of Things to enable small device manufacturers to actually access the network and pay for it.
You want like them to kind of like mesh network to kind of like router somewhere like open your VLT or something like that? Or the VLT, have you heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah. Not just the mobile device can do mesh, like even the router.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the mesh network is something that has been around for a long time. And but mainly on hardware. I think the disruption here is to actually turn each smartphone into a router. That's why it's so disruptive. And you just need the digital app to do that.
What about money? Can you transfer money?
So you can, I mean, it's a communication channel. So even if it's happening on the ground or the garden, or you want to call it, you can have any type of data or information going from one device to another. So it can be a payment. Might be useful for cryptocurrencies, or if you are in a place like in Africa and you want to exchange electronic payments, but there is no infrastructure at all, if you are in a village, then you can have a kind of, you could imagine you could have like kind of an electronic money and be able to exchange payments.
And even from friend to friend.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your sharing. So I downloaded the app and tried myself. At the first time I feel it really exciting. So the message keep popping up. But later I find it really like kind of overcrowding, overloaded information. I can't really follow each of the messages. And in this Hong Kong protest context, we found lots of rumor or fake messages circulating around the FireChat. So do you have any suggestions or animations to tackle the issue? And another concern I have when I'm using this in the assembly is that I'm worried that the battery will run out soon with the FireChat app. But I do expect it actually consumes less power than 3G, right? The cellular data compared to FireChat connectivity.
So I understood the first part of your question, and maybe you can see after when I finish. So you're right, and we spent a lot of effort. It was in the night of Sunday to Monday and Monday to Tuesday, at the beginning of last week. Actually try to figure out a way for slowing down the messages that were arriving, or even at some point you don't realize that if you have too many people communicating at the same time in the room, they would speed up automatically, just to avoid actually this overload of a feed of messages. And yeah, it has been a concern. And in one way it's great because it's very real-time, a lot of interactivity, but you're right, we need to make it practical. And so we spend a lot of time on that. We still have to spend a lot of time and to improve user experience. It's true that the app was launched as a demo and we launched it, and now we work really and put all the efforts to make the user experience much better and delight for users. And so yeah, you're right. And the
second question is about whether it consumes more power of my phone. Because in the assembly or in the podcast, I'm worried that with my phone is run out of battery. That is a very key concern.
So I think before there was the trusted information. So we noticed indeed that some people were saying, oh, it looks like some people are trying to spam or, and we had that problem in the past when we launched the app with trolls or spammers, and so you have now a feature where we invite people to self-curate the network themselves, where you can report or block basically messages from some users. So you just hold on the chat and you can do that. And to improve that, that's why we are introducing the verified account. So if any one of you has a large audience or communicates a lot and wants to be verified, you just need to send an email to verified@opinion.com, and we'll be able to actually make you a trusted source of information.
So for that time, you need some human being to verify and also to check whether there's not of report regarding to certain users, right? You immediately have someone to monitor the case.
So the way we do it is, for now, is we check if they already have an audience on a social network like Twitter or Facebook or Weibo, and if someone has already an audience, has the same username, and when we do it organically and with the people we know that know other people, a little bit like Twitter used to do when they started to verify their account. Where you have to know someone working inside the company to get your account verified.
I'd like to ask, for this type of social messaging app, would you say that compared to other cities like New York and the Valley, now like here in Hong Kong, would you have a higher chance of soliciting investors and VCs due to there's big penetration and traction to it, because like New York and Hong Kong are quite similar, but I guess the culture is a bit different, so I want to hear your perspective on, let's say, right now messaging apps are the next big thing, and how would you compare the rate of penetration over here in Asia versus in other cities like New York, like Europe and the Valley?
Very good question, and in a way we are lucky that we got so much adoption here so far, because it's a perfect, even if I would have preferred it happen in different circumstances, it's a perfect way to learn about how a big mesh network or a lot of people are in proximity and how the software installed behave and how stable is the network. And so, Hong Kong today is probably the place where we have the most density. Just to give you a number, I think we got almost 500,000 creation of accounts in the city of Hong Kong. So that's probably a huge number compared to the number of people living in Hong Kong.
And my second question was, what is my growth of units per head today when you want this extra?
So I speak from time to time with Fred, and when we won the TechCrunch, he said, oh, you're the only company worth of being a TechCrunch, because at that time a lot of companies were not that techy, and not really innovating according to him. And I think Fred always had a big crush on mesh networking. So we have conversation pretty often. Maybe it will be part of our next funding. I don't know, we'll see. But I can tell you that if you want to know the story of the funding, it took me a year to gather the first $1 million with 1,500. Because nobody believed in the project. When we won TechCrunch, it took me 45 minutes to get another $1 million. And these are the highs and lows of the life of the startup. Thank you.
So I came late, so I might just miss the answer to the question. But a lot of what you talked about earlier was Internet of Things. But what we're seeing in Hong Kong at the moment is the messaging app. So as we move towards wearable computing and fridges that speak to us, air conditioners that speak to us, and tech, and all these things, how does your network come into it? I apologize if you answered it.
No, thank you for answering the question. Ultimately, you would like for software to be in every device. Now you have some devices that don't have a strong enough operating system to support all the networking features. So in the case of when I mentioned the partnership with the tracker, the device that goes to your item, if you use an item and broadcast the signal, you cannot host software on one of these devices. Really, a lot of computing power. But they can join the network and benefit from it. In the case of the fridge, or in the case of...
for example, there's a lot of discussion in the retail industry about RFID. Right, so people are always rather excited about the fact that cost has come down. I don't know how much energy, but it's come down. So suddenly it means that items have an identity. So I'm wondering if your technology is cheap and doesn't need enough brain power that you could basically attach it to a pair of shoes, underwear, sunglasses, diamonds, condoms, I don't know, whatever.
I would love that. We actually worked on a prototype of a very small device and with very little power computing resources. And this is necessary to make it work, but it would be a limitation of what the software running in a smartphone or in a computer can do today. But I mean, technology moves so fast. Maybe 5 years from now, it will be completely different. I don't know.
You're saying it needs to be something at the level of the smartphone to be able to run the software. It couldn't be a sort of chip in a phone.
It could run just a part of the networking, have just a fraction of the networking features that we have on the software that is on the smartphone.
I want to ask, can you predict some of the digital marketing opportunities in FireChat? Because WhatsApp, it would come over it because it has high potential to grow.
So we have a lot of requests from brands who want to see use FireChat for a broadcasting channel, or even bands for concerts. So we, yes, I mean, the next feature we introduce with the verified account, and there's going to be actually going to give visibility to the people who are verified. So it could be a brand actually. So a brand could use FireChat to broadcast to an important, a huge number of persons with information in that way, inform people.
Thank you. My name is Peter, working in a VC company. So I would like to ask about more your startup financing. How do you think about the importance of the funding? Is more important in the startup stage or in the current development? Just like when you do the startup funding, you have certain business plans to say, hey, maybe 1 year I will develop in other states, so I need that kind of funding. But how do you think about your company? Because your company, when the technology is well marketing, just like today, well, you use entire internet, not just a kind of Wi-Fi cellular, but entire internet you can use it. So how do you comment your own business now?
Okay, so we get some water and I'm going to answer your question.
So the cellular is a registered charity, tax pass, the tax exemption. So we pass around a bottle, feel free to donate whatever you want, okay? Thank you.
So, you have a startup, especially if you are the CEO and the founder or co-founder, I mean, your full-time job should be bringing money to the business. Yes. So I always like people when they ask me, are you fundraising? Yeah, I'm fundraising all the time. I mean, even if I have clothes on, I'm still fundraising because it takes time to raise money. It takes time, it takes a lot of effort. And trust me, it's really never give up, never give up, never give up. Open all the doors you can, all the time. We're going to have probably 50 for 10 years, or even 60 or in the, when we did the seed round for the first million, I probably get, I think probably 75 no and 15 yes. So it's really, it's a marathon. Never give up, go and never get, basically, you have to be fighting all the time. And just to tell you a little bit of the story, well, it's not official, but we we never announced it, but we did another big round of financing, and I mean, like 15 days before we run out of cash, we closed the big round, and we have been working on it for 8 or 9 months. So it's get to be a full-time job if you create a business and you especially a startup, because in a startup, if you want to make it big, you don't have to worry about generating money from day one. I mean, if you want to disrupt the specific industry, if you have that concern, then it's going to distract you from actually disrupting the job. That's why we need money. Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Thanks for sharing, Micha. I want to know for places with poor telecom infrastructure, like maybe somehow Africa or Thailand, would your technology make an alternative before the government can do some big infrastructure like DG tower? Would it provide some other alternative, cheaper alternative?
So definitely, we believe it's a great solution for connecting what we call the unconnected masses. And I was in India before arriving to Hong Kong. And there you have a lot of universities, and they don't have that kind of infrastructure you can have in Hong Kong or other countries. And but they can buy now smartphones. You have the Firefox OS one that costs $33. You have the Android one, $100, which is a very good smartphone. And when people can afford this one, very often they offering paying for a data plan is too expensive, or there is no mobile data at all. So this technology can enable, you can clearly imagine, and that's why we're also really going after this market. Can you imagine a whole university being able to message the students messaging each other just using this technology with an app, with the FireChat app on the platform? Thank you.
Hi, Michelle. Maybe I tell you some of my experience using OpenGarden. I may be the first user that used OpenGarden. I started to install the OpenGarden in my mobile and on my laptop up here. And I was trying to use it as a hub to access the internet. My experience is the speed is not that fast. Maybe the mobile company, are they able to limit the speed rate? Yeah.
So there are many different points when you connect it to a laptop. So first, it's Bluetooth. But Bluetooth, in certain cases, can give you speed of like 3G network, approximately. But you won't get the speed you could get on a Wi-Fi network if you're coming from a laptop. And two, it is true that some carriers have the ability to actually throttle your pipe, but it really depends.
And the following question, the FireChat is another application on top of the OpenGarden. And the other one is, am I able to limit the user if I install the OpenGarden on my mobile phone? Can I control which device are able to access my mobile phone to access the internet?
So the FireChat is built on the top of the technology we developed for 3 years. We haven't made the link yet between the OpenGarden and the FireChat, because we have to move really fast. Let's say that the OpenGarden application is completely open today, and for one reason. First, because we never had anyone who was using the app complain about having the possibility to connect to someone else or give some of their memory to someone else. It's a question of, it's the first question people have, that when they use the software, you realize people don't complain. Second is, if we were to introduce a limitation, it would automatically slow down the adoption and the growth of the network. And third, it's something we thought we should introduce at some point when we have really a huge adoption and a lot of users. And we imagine a system like a credit ecosystem. It could be eventually even a cryptocurrency, just for bandwidth. But we never got to that point with the mesh. That's why we decided to demo the technology with messaging, FireChat, which basically everyone can understand.
Sorry, I know that a lot of people using GitHub, they want to hide the identity, to make it anonymous, just like in webcast, right? So how do you see this application will going forward? Okay? The second thing is, because of this, right, I mean, regulations, local regulations, will have an impact on some of the services. How we see the local regulations will impact your kind of additional national.
So for now, we haven't had any issue with any regulatory issue. It is true that this may pop up in the future, and I think we'll deal with it case by case when it happens. But for now, no, we never had any problem.
The first question is, apart from text message, can one send voice message or picture, video through FireChat? And the second question is, it seems that the usage of FireChat is huge in some emergency cases or social campaign or something like that. But will this be an issue when you try to monetize this product? Because in some months there will be a huge usage, but in other days there may be little usage, but maybe just 1% or the previous month or something like that.
Okay, so your first question was
Can I send pictures or videos?
So you can clearly send messages and pictures and photos today on the local network. I think you can even send videos. That may take some time because obviously video is weight is much more important. We stopped the broadcasting of images on the big chat rooms that run the internet. For one simple reason is as you can be completely anonymous on the network. When we opened it, that's the funny story, when we launched the app, it was actually open, and you didn't even have the possibility to create a profile when we launched the application. And it was on March 20th, we started to launch on the iPhone, on iOS, and we were almost sure that Apple was going to feature us. So we were expecting Apple to feature us for the launch of the app, and the morning we launched the app, I mean, you can imagine what kind of content you get when you don't control the kind of images that go on an open chat room. You had a complete mess. No way we could have been featured by Apple. I mean, they had images, everything together featured, they did not. And then we basically, for half an hour, we shut down the server. And what are we going to do now? And hopefully, because the chat room were passes through the internet and were connected to the server, we decided to not rebroadcast all the pictures that people were sending. So in half an hour, 45 minutes, basically, we reopened the server and we removed all the pictures you can imagine that were circulating on the network. And despite that, because of the peer-to-peer mesh aspect of it, we got so much traction that in 10 days we were #1 in 15 countries on the App Store, in the top 10 in 150 countries. With a very rough app because it was really a proof of concept. And but yes, in the future we want the pictures to be back, photos, videos. You will be able to send if you push the story, then available to the peer-to-peer mesh. So we want to bring back all these multimedia features.
So this is the second stage.
Sorry?
In the second stage.
So for the picture, you mean when we're studying?
When will it be available?
At the end of this month, we're going to have the verified account, so live, and also the possibility to really pick not only chat rooms, thematical chat rooms, but people you want to have, you want to follow. And I guess the people who will be verified will be the first one to be able to broadcast photos again on Android.
Then how about the second question? The usage is sometimes very huge and sometimes very low. Will be an issue to when you monetize this model.
So on Android, the behavior is different than the one on iOS. On Android, we can almost keep something running in the background that can, even if you don't use the app, can wake up the app almost all the time. So if you can actually broadcast a signal that will wake up all the apps that are around you. On iOS, it's slightly more difficult. If you haven't been using the app for some time, the iOS system tries to shut down the app. But I mean, there are some techniques to wake up the app remotely from the internet. It's a little bit more complicated. So, and your question for emergency situation, we believe it's really appealing for emergency situation because it could be during a situation where all the mobile networks are down, and if you still have a way of communicating, then yeah, you can go out with that.
My question is, for example, after the campaign, the project is over, and then many people forget about this, and many people use FireChat again, and will be an issue when you try to monetize this product. When you talk with other companies,
So
how you...
I understand the question, I think. So the usage of FireChat is not only off the grid and on the peer-to-peer mesh. I mean, you can use the app in a normal connected mode and it becomes like any other social network. And like I said before, the reason why people use it is there are two main reasons. One is you can be connected when normally we don't have a connectivity and keep on exchanging messages. So that's the case in the protest if you have a congested or the mobile network that are overloaded. But it can be also just because you want to broadcast information to as many people as possible in a very efficient way in a very short period of time, and you want to be able to keep on updating these people. And you can do that with FireChat. You can also ask a random question in the chat room, like, what's the weather like today, or how is the traffic in a part of the city? And you will get an answer in seconds. And yes, you can use it every day, every moment. Actually, I agree that for Hong Kong City, in different circumstances, we may not have the 8 or 10 times. During the protest, we had like every each user in average were 8 or 10 times a day on the application for several minutes. So it's that's a lot. So it's probably going to have less usage. But as we improve the user experience and as we bring more and more features to actually make the content more useful and more attractive, I believe the usage is going to keep up and at some point even increase.
I'm here to I need to ask you a discount because I'm
Or you can, I don't think you have, you can probably email me. Let's see if I have it. I'm going to write my email here so you have it.
Okay, last two questions because time.
Okay, you can email me at this address. I have a question.
Hello.
Hi.
I think now the key is the full-drift technology. And I'm wondering about, I think you should know the improvement or development of full-drift technology. Because with new information on news, I know that the next generation of full-drift is coming soon. What is the opportunity in your opinion
So we actually we don't really care about which wireless radio we use. We were using only Bluetooth 4.0, 3.0, 2.0 before, and Wi-Fi direct. We interact with the market. We actually a lot of times we do when they wanted to bring Wi-Fi direct on Android devices. More recently, you have Bluetooth LE. You're going to have Bluetooth, smart Bluetooth or something like this arriving. That's right. I mean, the more wireless interface arrive on the market, the more performing they are, and the more solutions we have to actually broadcast information. So we adapt. And the way the technology works is it's going to try first to basically use the internet. 4G or 3G or Wi-Fi. If there is no internet, it's going to try also on the Wi-Fi because maybe the local network is enough to actually broadcast information locally without going to the internet. And then after try the direct link to Bluetooth or Bluetooth LE or Wi-Fi direct.
So how many people in your company? It's three?
So there we are, 13 people, 1 3.
Can you tell us what your daily active rate is? Active rate user rate is?
So during the last week it has been, like I said, 8 to 10 sessions per user in average, and I think 3 to 4 minutes per user.
But average, that's on your time, right? I mean, your average, your number of active users daily divided by total number of registered members. Well, is that the rate high? I mean,
it is, at the beginning it was, we got a huge adoption when we launched the app, and because it was a demo app, the retention was very, very bad. But since we introduced the chat rooms, we introduced the profile, so adoption is ramping up. And so we work a lot to actually improve it every day, and it starts to look pretty good. It's not where we want to bring it yet, so it'll be more months of work. It's not, it's much more than that. It's much more than that.
But you're not getting good for safety.
It is.
You must try to be a safety online. So we're getting good for a safety network. Well, just tonight. Sure about.
Okay.
So I want to be good for safety.
Yes, I mean, we have a lot of chat rooms just for dating already.
Okay, so I think it's almost the time. Yeah, very long Q&A session. Maybe let's give a big hand to our very good for spending time with us. And also, reminder, if you want to join us, please fill in the membership form. And I hope to see you again next time. Thank you.